Our universe is indeed a strange and wonderful place, our Earth inhabited by many strange and wonderful people, some big, speaking many languages, some of different colors, some living in cities, some in the country, many in lands separated by miles and oceans and time. But no matter the size, the race, or the distance between, all of these people are united by common bond, God. Take a closer look at the Earth, and in such a spot as Alaska, you will find a people who are just learning of the God who wrought the wonders of the world. Out of the Arctic sunrise, a small plane wings its way through the winter dawn, across endless miles of frozen wastes, through snow-crusted mountains, frosted pink on the south by a sun that hardly rises above the horizon, and silvered on the north by a winter moon that never sets. In this plain, two people are making the journey from Teller Town to the village of Shishmaref on the shores of the Arctic Ocean. These are Eskimo villages, and the pilot is Reverend Hagelin, a missionary to the Eskimo from the Evangelical Lutheran Church. Landing on this beach completes another of his jobs as their first flying pastor in this area. His day may yet see him at Teller Mission, helping Reverend Lee with a problem either spiritual or physical, or at Igloo to pick up an ill or injured child to fly to the hospital at Nome. A myriad of tasks to test his strength and mettle, to give, and when there is no strength left, to give some more. For to bring the word of God to this remote section of the world is not an easy job. But here, you haven't met his passenger, another missionary, and what the Alaskans would call a real sourdough. For she has been serving the Evangelical Lutheran Mission Board since 1926. Were you a little startled to find a lady in charge of the Shishmaref mission? Well, don't be surprised at any of the accomplishments of Miss Helen Frost, for here is one of those amazing people who have adhered so closely to the will of God that no task set before her has been too difficult. The Eskimo children following at her heels seem to be excited about something. Yes, someone is ill, and of course they've been waiting for their sister Helen Frost, because among her many duties during these last 23 years in the Northland have been that of doctor, nurse, school teacher, marriage commissioner, radio operator, storekeeper, postmaster, orchestra director, music teacher, dressmaker, village cop, and amateur photographer. Entering the little Eskimo home, she finds her patient cheerfully awaiting the loving care that she knows she will get. With their sick one in the hands of the one they love and trust, the men now feel free to go about their business of bringing home food. And so with ice pick and shovel, one goes off to fish through the ice, while others are harnessing the dogs for a trip inland to hunt game birds, set fish traps in the freshwater streams now covered with ice, or to run their trap line. It's not an easy job, not any part of it, for the temperatures range to 60 degrees below zero, and the harnesses are stiff and cold, and there's nothing warmer in sight for the rest of the day. The dog chains are cold, too, and it's awfully early on an awfully cold morning. The dogs have been ready for hours because they wore their fur coats to bed. Their wagging tails show their joy as their running feet take their master closer to a big game bag full of ptarmigan. The dogs howl, yelp. They're anxious to go, anxious to be on their way across the Arctic ice to the hunting grounds. The Arctic grouse you see here, perched in the willows, is fine fare for a dinner. Many will go to their trap line set for the cross fox such as this fellow. His pelt is valuable for trading or making winter clothing. Mink, an ermine, or white or red fox may make up another part of his catch. Now let your imagination take you through the coming spring, and you will see a woman hooking tomcod through the ice of Shishmaref Lagoon. While out on the Arctic Ocean, seal hunters paddle among the open leads in the ice. A miniature skin boat is used to retrieve the seals shot in the calm waters around the ice floes. A kayak would be necessary if the water were rough. And then, in early spring, the late part of the spring of the year, the ice is starting to go in the Arctic Ocean. The big umiaks, powered now by outboard motors, go out to sea in search of walrus that will yield up to a ton of meat apiece, many gallons of oil for food, heat, and light, as well as ivory and skins to cover these boats, which, by the way, are the only craft that will withstand the torturous travel through this moving ice. But let's get back to the village and see what the children are doing. Playing with the puppies helps them to learn the art of handling dogs. Quite a necessary course in the schooling of a young Eskimo. For many years will be spent behind a team of dogs here, where they are the only motor power available. Of course, the puppies may have other ideas. But if they run away, there's always the ice slide to get the children used to the hard knocks in life. Heavy clothing helps to cushion the shock, but bruises come thick and fast in a game like this. The little girl standing over there who doesn't seem to want any part of the rough house. She seems a little shy, too. Won't you come over and smile for us? Oh, come on. There, that's better. That's quite a smile, if you can see it through all that fur. The rough house seems to be getting rougher, but judging from the laughter, this is one of the best slides they've had here in front of the school for many years, and probably the hardest on the seats and knees of little trousers, too. These children have always seemed to be able to make up their own games, to make up for the lack of a playground or other things that the white children in the States have. But say, there goes an interesting fellow. Let me introduce you to the Eskimo Iceman, who makes his living selling ice in a village not only surrounded by ice, but covered with it as well. But there's a good reason for it, though. All this ice you see is salt ice, and there are no rivers or springs here. But by going to the lakes, he can get freshwater ice to be melted for drinking and cooking and washing. Selling water by the chunk eliminates the problem of containers, too. This load is going to the school teacher, who has an underground storage to keep it frozen through the warm spring months. Most everyone else just piles their water supply up on the roof. Day is nearing its close now, and everyone, including our Iceman, is returning home, all in a hurry to get the dogs put up for the night, because it's almost time for the men's meeting at the mission. Short winter days don't leave much time for the evening chores if you want to be able to see whether you've got the right dog chained to the proper post and be able to wind up the tow line and the harnesses so they won't tangle in the morning or get lost in the snow during the night. The dogs, of course, are howling to convince their master of how hungry all this work has made them, and they won't quiet down until their evening meal is put in front of them. It takes just about an hour a day to get your dogs ready to go in the morning, a half an hour at night to unhook them, and of course, someone takes an hour a day to cook the feed, to feed these hounds. They love to work, but it's a lot of work for the driver. I've often heard people say, wouldn't it be fun to ride a dog sled? Frankly, no one rides a dog sled. There's more work behind than there is up in front. However, eating a meal for these dogs is the fastest thing they do. So let's rush over to the meeting. It's quite a social event, the men's meeting of the day, but it looks like we're a little late. The evening devotional is over, and it looks like the coffee is going pretty well with the cookies that Sister Helen Frost made at 6 o'clock this morning. There's a children's Christmas program rehearsal scheduled just before church services, so let's stay and look in on it.
You know what I got today? What? A tree. Isn't it nice? Yeah. I think it is, too. Jean, would you like to come up here? And me? And maybe some of the others would like to see it, too. Look at this one. Isn't this nice? All right. Good. You can stick that up on the top there. In just a minute, I'm going to show you some nice lights I got from the tree today, too. Let's see lights. Hold it carefully like that. Look at it. Don't take it out of the box.
But they had a practice session to go through, and so Miss Frost got all of the children ready to rehearse a few little songs that they were going to sing, all of them in English this time.
chorus that's going to sing Silent Night. All right? Come on up here. All right, now, Junior, you're going to lead the band. You get ready. Everybody watch Junior sing Silent Night. Step out here where they can all see you. Ready? Very fine, very fine. All right, now, who's going to lead the chorus to sing? What are we going to sing that? Away in a Manger. You going to lead that chorus to the Junior? You take over the chorus, Junior.
Join in on one of the services on a Wednesday night.
We would like to thank many friends of our church for all what they have done for us.
That's fine. I think that would be a very good idea. Supposing we have a little prayer first. Maybe you could ask your father to come up and offer a little prayer. Maybe you could come up here. Jesus Christ, ini adik sejuk, saya menekan kecil tinggal, saya mengaksikan, nang proses itu
nang nato pen uklupison then if you got to go to. Thank you.
Yes, I think we owe our church in the States for many things. And we're going to just bring them a little message at this time. And if Roy will come up and interpret for us, then we want to express to them how we feel. So to our Christian friends, we would say thank you for all that you have done for us. For your prayers and for your support in many different ways. And so we as a group up here, a part of your church, want to send you a greeting with a verse in the 68th Psalm. Blessed be the Lord who daily loadeth us with benefits. Even the God of our salvation. Yes, our God has surely blessed us through you friends. And may God bless you too. We are a part of the Christian family, the same Christian family which you are a part of. And may we all be faithful witnesses for him wherever we are. And we know that if we remain faithful, we're going to meet someday. And so again, thank you all from us all here, way up in Alaska.
And so our little church service ends way up in the Arctic with the singing of the doxology in Eskimo. Day is about through for this hard-working lady of the North, so let's join her while she relaxes over her evening meal. Well, Mr. and Mrs. Bingham, the school teachers, are here with their son, and there's an extra place set. Must be for the trader from Igloo. He was due here for Thanksgiving dinner, but bad weather delayed both he and the turkey. Look at how nicely that table is set. That's one of the secrets of our hostess. Always a complete table service with fancy appetizers and desserts, whether eating alone or entertaining guests. Just a little thing, but very important if you live alone. Is that beefsteak? Say, this is a gala occasion. Must have been brought in from Nome. Funny how little things like a piece of beef can be such a treat. But remember, there's no corner butcher store here. There are no complaints here either, and no demand for payment for services, like the time Sister Helen set the broken kneecap of this young trader, or the time she has nursed him and many others through illness. No thought of reward, just happy to help. Or in her words, grateful to be able to help. Yes, this is the lady who bought dental implements with her own money to relieve suffering. Countless hundreds of teeth she has pulled, and grateful just for a thank you in return. This same has been true of Reverend Dolly, who built this building, and Reverend Breivik, who was the first of the many in this little group from the Evangelical Lutheran Church to come to the Seward Peninsula. Reverend Breivik came as pastor to the Lapp reindeer herders and was adopted by the Eskimos. A man of such character that he didn't have to ask the Eskimos to embrace Christianity, but rather they came to him and asked to learn of his God. For how could a man so good have anything but a wonderful God? As we leave this little mission, let's be sure to remember what we've seen here. The life isn't easy. Why, you can see for yourself it's even hard to get an airplane to move. The skis freeze down, and it takes Reverend Haglund more than a few minutes to get started on what he calls just another day's work. But it's good work, and they're happy doing it. And we hope you are happier for knowing them, both the Eskimo people and our missionary friends, for they are indeed a wonderful people. And so a small plane wings its way into the Arctic sunrise.